Good morning. There I am. Yes. Welcome. Good morning to those who are gathered here in the sanctuary on Rugby Road and to all who are joining us online over Zoom. We are so delighted to see you, to have you with us this morning. And as we come together for worship, we begin with a lovely musical prelude offered by Scott Deveaux. Thank you, Scott. It was really, really lovely. Thank you so very much. Well, good morning again, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charlottesville. My name is Reverend Tim Temerson. It is wonderful that we are gathered together for worship this morning, both online and here on Rugby Road. As many of you know, this sanctuary was built over 70 years ago on land that was once the homeland of the Monacan people and that was once cared for by enslaved people from Africa and their descendants. We honor all who dwelt here and all in our congregation whose lives led to this moment of our gathering as a community of memory and hope. I invite you now to take a moment to greet others who are with us in worship this morning. Those online can unmute and say hello to one another, and those of us here in the sanctuary or social hall are welcome to greet your neighbors, especially those you may not know.
Hi, Zoom people.
Hello. Nice to see all the faces.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So many friends.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, all.
Morning.
It certainly is good to be together, and we welcome those who are new to our congregation and invite you to join us for fellowship after the service. Feel free to use one of our red coffee mugs, which are for newcomers to our congregation. We continue to ask that everyone in the sanctuary and throughout the building keep your high-quality N95 or KN95 mask in place, covering both your nose and your mouth. If you don't have a face mask with you, we have extras available. When you are in the social hall, you may remove your mask while actively eating or drinking, but we do encourage you to put your mask back on if you are not eating or drinking and just having a good conversation. We see the continued wearing of face masks while indoors as an act of kindness that keeps everyone, especially those most at risk, as safe as possible while we continue to navigate life during the ongoing pandemic and flu season. And hand sanitizer is scattered throughout the pews, so we invite you to use that as needed. In addition to the sanctuary, seating is available in the social hall where there is a live stream of the service. Everyone is welcome in the sanctuary, but if you need a roomier space, the social hall can be a good option. Please do whatever you need to do to feel comfortable as we worship together. Many thanks to all the folks helping us share worship both here and online, our on-site greeters, ushers, hospitality and logistics team. Special thanks to our AV tech team of Rachel Buckland, who is off this morning but did create all the beautiful slides you'll be seeing, and Sean Scally, who is up in the AV booth, and they are supporting the dual platform worship both online and here on Rugby Road. Our thanks, of course, to musical director Scott Deveaux for sharing his musical gifts. And I am pleased this morning to be sharing the pulpit with Pam McIntire and Chris Little, and you'll be hearing more from them. Well, actually, you'll be hearing from Chris like in 5 seconds, but you'll also be hearing from Pam and Chris a little later in the service. And now to greet you from the Board of Trustees is none other than Chris Little. Chris?
Excuse me. Good morning, everyone. Lovely to see you all here. You're going to be hearing more from me later, so I'll keep this brief and just say that I'm not alone in believing that the journey of a person or a community of people can be more inspired and more meaningful and more effective and more joyful when that journey is grounded in a clarity of why. Why am I on this journey, or why are we on this journey? And so I'm very enthusiastic and excited about the theme of today's service and where it's going to take us from here in clarifying our why, whether you call it mission or purpose, but bringing clarity to our collective why as a community. So thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
Thank you, Chris. Here are our announcements this morning. Today, we, as Chris just alluded to, we kick off our journey to develop a new mission or purpose for the UU Congregation of Charlottesville. We invite and encourage everyone to visit the tables in the social hall after the service to sign up for a cottage conversation. Those conversations are your opportunity to share what our congregation means to you and what you see as our shared purpose. If you are attending online, please know that Janine Braithwaite is also in the Zoom conversation, and Janine will remain in the Zoom room after the service to answer questions and to assist you with signing up for a cottage meeting. For those of you here on Rugby Road, as I think you are about to see, please go ahead. There will be cake and popcorn and chocolate-covered strawberries in the social hall after the service. Yes. Yes, we know that the path to purpose leads through cake. So we do hope that you will join us, come get a piece of cake, and please do sign up for one of the conversations that we'll be having over the course of the next 4 to 5 to 6 weeks. Thank you, Lori. What an expert job of, yes, and you've got the nice, yes, very, very well done. So as Lori wheels the cake out of the sanctuary, a reminder, 2 other quick announcements, that our adult faith development classes for the winter-spring semester are forming and some of them are starting. Please do register through the church's webpage. We have offerings including things like Tai Chi, a class that I will be teaching on the spiritual wisdom of Howard Thurman, and a class that Sean McCutcheon will be teaching called Coming Together, How We Can Heal the Divide, and many, many more opportunities. So there are great ways to deepen your spirit and enrich your journey through our fantastic adult faith development programs. And of course, you can always ask Reverend Leah. And I think there will be opportunities to sign up today as well. No, but online for sure, absolutely. So, okay, good. Cake today, yes, absolutely. Sign up for Purpose and Cake today and AFD next week. Perfect, there you go. And then finally, just a reminder that next Sunday, February the 5th, we will be offering our monthly newcomer circle at 12:15. It's only half an hour. It's very relaxed and informal. It's an opportunity to meet with me and several lay leaders just to learn more about our congregation, about Unitarian Universalism. So if you are new to our congregation and have not attended one of these, I do hope that you will come next week and be part of the newcomer circle. And also, I just want to say too that if you are a member of this congregation or a longtime friend and you know someone who has been maybe looking for a religious community or an opportunity to learn more about our congregation, that's a great Sunday to encourage them to come, because there's a chance after the service to learn more about us. So newcomer circle next Sunday at 12:15 following the service. And now I'd like to invite the minister to share the call to worship. Oh, that's right, that's me. So as we begin our service, I want to share these lovely words from my colleague, the retired UU minister, Reverend Marilyn Sewell. Come into this circle of love and justice. Come into this community where we can dream and believe in those dreams. Come into this holy space where we remember who we are and how we want to live. Come now, let us worship together. And as our service continues, I'd now like to invite Mary and Sam Anderson to come forward and light our flaming chalice, which is, of course, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. And as Mary and Sam light our chalice, I'd like to invite Sean to put the words, our unison chalice lighting words, up on the screen. And there they are. And please join me in saying, we gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. And now let's join together in doing our hand motions. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving hearts. Thank you, Mary and Sam. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to invite you all to rise in body or spirit, and let's join in singing Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. It's number 361 in the gray hymnal, and the words will be on the screen. This is a good one to clap along to, so I encourage and invite you to do that as well. Please rise. So now I would like to invite our children, youth, young at heart, everyone who likes to hear a good story to come on down and join me down here on the red rug. Come on down, everybody. Come on down. Hey. Yeah, scoot up. Come on close. Absolutely. Perfect. Perfect. I want to stand over here for a minute because I got something to show you on the screen in just a second. So, hello everybody. It's so good to have you here. I am so excited to see you this morning because I have a really, really great story to share with you today about a girl and a porpoise. This is about a girl who really, really wanted a porpoise. In fact, here is a picture of a porpoise. You know, they're kind of related to dolphins, but porpoises and dolphins are different. They're both mammals. And I picked this picture to show you because doesn't it look like that porpoise is smiling? Yeah, he's really, really adorable. Yes. So, yes, Reverend Leah?
I'm wondering why are you telling us a story today about a girl and a porpoise?
Well, Reverend Leah, surprised you're asking me that because you know that today's service is about our church getting a porpoise.
Reverend Tim, I think you might be confused.
What?
I don't think we're talking about porpoises, like big things that swim in the ocean. I think we're talking about purpose, not porpoise.
Oh. I guess I was a little confused. Reverend Leah, do you, I don't have any other story to tell. You think it would be okay if I just told everybody my porpoise story? Would that be okay, guys?
Would you be okay? Yeah.
Okay,
It's okay, yeah.
they are. Porpoises are cute.
I thought even like
Making
they
mistakes.
fill out the whole church as a put a purpose in it.
That might be fun, yes. So let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story about this girl named Amira. And Amira, it was her birthday. Her birthday was coming up, and she wanted one thing for her birthday. Oh, he's gone. A porpoise, not that one, but a porpoise. That's what she wanted. She loved animals and nature, and she wanted a porpoise. And she told her family, oh, I want a porpoise, I want a porpoise. Please, I want a porpoise for my birthday. So her birthday came, there was a cake, lots of presents, but no porpoise. She was really sad and kind of didn't understand because I told everybody I wanted a porpoise. So she went up to her parents and said, I really had said I wanted a porpoise for my birthday. And they said to her, well, we can't give you a purpose. You have to figure out your own purpose. Nobody can give you your purpose. And she said, I didn't say purpose, I said porpoise. And her parents went, oh, we thought you were saying purpose. But we can't have a porpoise at our house. Porpoises live in the wild. Well, Amira didn't like that answer. So then she went to her grandparents and said, I thought I told everyone that I wanted a porpoise for my birthday. And her grandparents said, well, that's a wonderful idea, but a purpose is not something somebody can give to you. It's not a gift. You have to, as you grow older maybe, or as you learn more and discover more things about yourself, then you'll be able to find out what your purpose is. She said, I said porpoise, not purpose. Well, so then Amira said, I said porpoise, not purpose, and her grandparents, of course, said, yeah, we can't give you that. So Amira was like, I know what a porpoise is. I don't even know what a purpose is. I don't know what that is. I don't know where to get that. I don't know how to understand that. So she decided to find out what it means to get a purpose. So she asked some people that she knew, some grown-ups and other kids, and what they all told her was, well, your purpose is what's most important to you. What are the things you care about the most? That's where your purpose comes from. How do the things that you love, how can you make a difference in the world? That's what your purpose is. So Amira thought about that, and she began to think about what are the things that she loves and cares about? What are the things that she feels most happy doing? And she realized the things she loves and cares about are the natural world, animals, taking care of the world, and also sharing her love of all those things with others, teaching others about the importance of caring for nature. And that's how slowly over time, she decided what her purpose was. And you know what? As it turned out, her purpose ended up kind of having something to do with porpoises, because she decided my purpose is when I grow up, I'm going to become a grown-up who works hard to teach people about nature, to maybe help improve laws and rules so that animals like porpoises are more protected. And that's what she decided was her purpose. So in a sense, you said a minute ago, this is really about purpose, not porpoise, but it's about porpoise as your purpose, right? So, and that's what we're doing here in our congregation at the UU Congregation of Charlottesville. And we're not bringing a porpoise into the church. That would be fun, but might not be good for the porpoise.
How's it gonna fit in the church? How is it gonna fit?
Yeah, it would be interesting. But what we are going to do is decide together through talking to each other and listening to each other, what is our purpose? What's most important to us? How do we want to live who we are here in our church and out in the world? And one thing I wanted to say to you guys is we need everybody to be part of this conversation, including all of you. And in the coming weeks, you're going to have opportunities in your religious education classes and groups to talk a little bit about what's important to this church about you, what's important to you about our congregation. What do you love most about being here? So just, you don't have to answer now, but think about it. And we will have lots of opportunities, as will everybody here, to be part of these conversations, because once we develop and really identify what matters most to us, then we can go about doing all the wonderful things that congregations can do to make ourselves and the world a better place. So thank you all very much for listening to my Porpoise Purpose story today. And I now would invite everyone to, let's sing our children out to their classes. As we leave this friendly place, I'd like to invite us into a time of centering, sharing, and prayer. So I now light a candle for, where's my candle? I don't see it. Okay, well, maybe that's it over there. So let's imagine I just lit that candle for all the joys and sorrows that are unspoken but deep in our hearts. Friends, this community offers its love and support to what is closest to our hearts. Another way we show our care for one another is in sharing our financial gifts with our community and our congregation. Today is the last Sunday for our January Social Action Collection, which is being taken for the remarkable organization that we have partnered with for many years, POCHM. As many of you know, POCHM is a grassroots organization in our region that works with local congregations and 3,000 volunteers to provide shelter and related services to the homeless. If you would like to make a donation to POCHM, Sean will put the social action slide for giving up. In addition to giving online, if you want to share either cash or check for POCHM today, please do use those social action envelopes that are scattered around the pews, and we have more up here on the credenza. That's a good place to put your social action donation so we know that that's what you intended for. And please, by the way, you don't need to seal the envelopes up. We'll take your donation out and reuse the envelope next week. In addition to our social action collection, each week we invite everyone into the spiritual practice of generosity by giving to the ministries of our congregation. Through your pledges and with the weekly Sunday morning offering, together our financial gifts and support build the future of this community. This is our shared ministry. And here's the offering, the weekly offering slide. During the music that follows, you may choose to make your Sunday morning offering by using the text address or going to our website. Here in the sanctuary, you may bring cash or checks forward. No need to put them in an envelope. You can just drop them right into the plate. You were invited not only to share your financial gifts, but also share the joys and sorrows in your hearts. Those online may put them in the chat box, and those of you in the sanctuary may come forward to place a stone in the water. You may also leave us a note on the joys and sorrows paper provided here. And let us dedicate all of the many gifts we share with one another by saying, we accept your gifts with gratitude. May we use them wisely for the highest good. Thank you all for sharing in that beautiful ritual, and for those of you who did not come forward, thank you for witnessing and for being with us as we shared that moment together. So, as you heard earlier, today is a day when we're going to kick off a wonderful effort, journey, to identify and to talk about and identify a shared purpose for a shared mission for our congregation. what we're asking all of you to do, and I'll give this announcement again before the service ends, is to join us in the social hall and to please sign up for a cottage conversation. Those conversations will be beginning in mid-February and will take place and will run through roughly the middle of March. And we need everybody, and you'll hear me say that in a few minutes again, because I'll keep repeating it and repeating it. I want everybody in this room to sign up. I don't care if you've been a member here for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, or if you've just recently come through the doors. We want everybody to be part of these conversations. And rather than me preaching a full sermon to you today, I decided to invite two of our leaders to share with you their thoughts about some of the questions that you will be asked when you participate in these conversations. What does this congregation mean to you? What do you see as the reason we exist? Why are we here? What is our purpose? And so on. So I'm very delighted to invite Pam McIntire and Chris Little to share with you some of their thoughts, and then I'll share a few with you after they are done. So why don't we begin with Pam? Pam, come on up.
Did that? Okay. All right, good. So I'm Pam McIntire. I'm the president of the board this year. And I'm so glad our congregation is embarking on this journey to unite in our understanding of a shared purpose. As you know, the whole UU Cville community is invited to share answers to the questions about our purpose. Today, I'm going to start with answering one of the questions. What does this congregation mean to you? Many years ago, I was sitting in this sanctuary when a woman came up and spoke. Her son was in prison, and she hadn't been able to touch him in a really long time. She explained that when her son came to court for a hearing, she went up afterwards, hoping to be able to hug him. And the guard told her no one is allowed to touch the prisoner. And then here's the important part. He then looked at her, and he deliberately turned his back so that she could hug him. I'm sorry. Should I start over? Okay. So this is the really important part, that the guard deliberately looked at her and then turned his back so that she could hug her son. And she told us that she hoped that one day she would have the honor to be in the right place at the right time to make a real difference. So I believe that we at UU Cville are in the right place at the right time to help this hurting world. Charlottesville has become a focus of national attention for our struggles with racism, inequities, violence, and so many other injuries. And there is a growing energy for change. With our dedication to the worth and dignity of all people, our understanding that there are many truths, our commitment to social action, and most of our belief in the power of love and kindness, we are in a unique position to help with the healing. I believe that here and now, we are just what the world needs. My heart has always longed for the connection to a force bigger than myself, where I can be a part of doing something valuable in the world. I have found that here with you, with this congregation. We're making a difference to each other and to our community, and I believe that we can be even more powerful as we unite our energy and determination. I believe together we are a powerful force. So, I don't know exactly how we're going to come together in a common purpose, or what words we're going to use to state our purpose, but that's why we need each other. Together, we are so much more wise than any of us alone. I'm eager for our conversations and to move forward together. I really love this congregation. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim, for raising the microphone. I'll try and get it right. On the one hand, I would say that's a hard act to follow. Thank you, Pam. But on the other hand, the point of this is actually not to follow another person's act. The point of this is for each of us to bring our own unique and individual perspectives to answering the questions so that everybody in the community is represented through this endeavor. And so I love hearing Pam's perspective, and I'm inspired by it. And I really hope as you hear both of us, you are also inspired to dig deep and contemplate your own answers to these questions. So I actually answered all three, but I promise you it's all on one page, so very, very brief. But what does this congregation mean to you, or what brings you to UUCville? What initially brought me to UUCville was strong alignment between the UU principles and my personal values, and my desire for our family to grow in community with others, were these, guided by these shared guiding principles. Another tenet of UU that appealed to me at a very fundamental level was the experience and invitation of faith as a journey of inquiry and discovery, rather than a position of dogma and certitude. So those were the reasons that brought me to UUCville, but 4 years later, the reason that I love being a part of this community and love this community is the people here, people who are sincerely striving to grow and live through our UU principles, our shared commitments and aspirations, and our diverse experiences and insights. Among this community, I feel like I'm growing to be a truer and more loving version of myself, and I see this in my wife and my children too. And finally, while I receive and benefit tremendously from being a part of this community, I love to serve too and believe I have something to offer. So there is some appeal in feeling like I can contribute to the journey and help others on their journeys too. So the second question is, how would you describe our purpose and the reason we exist? And simply put, I believe our purpose is to become more capable and more regular practitioners of the UU principles in our everyday lives, in relationship with ourselves, with self, in relationship with each other, in our families, in our schools, in our workplaces, in other elements of community, and in the Charlottesville community at large. And I think this happens through individual growth and communal growth. None of us can do it alone, but we can do it together. I also believe dialogue, sermons, stories like the Porpoise one this morning, and rituals are necessary to cultivate this journey of growth. And I believe too that the UU principles manifest more in our actions than in words. So when I think of our purpose, I think mostly of our actions in our day-to-day lives as individuals and as a community. Then finally, the third question is, what is important to you about how we impact the larger community and the world? I've met very few people who haven't said, I want to change the world, and for the better. I think the only way to change the world is to change our world, to change my world. And this is a very hard thing to do because the comforts, the privileges, the perspectives, many of which we were born into, are familiar and seductive, even if they come at the expense of other people. and are at odds with our UU principles. So to grow on purpose and have meaningful impact, I believe we need to spend more time outside of our comfort zones with people we instinctively view as other, and reach out with humility and inquiry. When we truly empathize with others through direct human contact, I think we will be more likely and more inspired to change our own world and consequently change the world for everyone for the better. Because it is so hard to do, I think we need and can be for each other a community of support and a community of accountability. Thank you.
Am I there? Yes. Okay. Good deal. As the scent of popcorn wafts gently in the sanctuary, I keep telling Lori Craddock and David Shutt that I think they have a conspiracy going to completely throw off my sermon as I try to focus in all this heavenly abyss that popcorn puts me into. So I'll try to keep it together. Well, let me just begin by saying how much I appreciate and am grateful to Pam and Chris for sharing their thoughts and their passion and their love for this congregation and for Unitarian Universalism. We are so grateful for all that you are doing to help us live our values and our principles. And our future is so very bright because of leaders like you, and we have so much to look forward to. I also want to give a shout out to the other members, in addition to Pam and Chris, of the task force that is sort of overseeing and coordinating this journey that we're all making together. In addition to Chris and Pam, there's Janine Braithwaite, who is the co-chair along with Chris, Aksha Carrier, Brett Gastinger, and myself. We have been meeting very regularly for the last 6 weeks or so, and I have been so impressed with not just how well this team is working together. I mean, it's been happy time ever since we had our first Zoom meeting, but just how excited and hopeful all of them are for the future of our congregation. And let me just say that so much of what Pam and Chris shared resonates with my own journey and my own experience in Unitarian Universalism. Like Pam, I have always and still yearned to experience and feel that connection to something greater than myself. And I have certainly, time and again, found that connection in Unitarian Universalism. I have found it while worshiping and singing hymns on Sunday morning. I have found it while participating in deep and meaningful conversations like those one might experience in a covenant group or another faith development opportunity. I have certainly experienced that deep connection while engaging in acts of service and justice. And perhaps most importantly, as both Pam and Chris reiterated, I have been connected to something greater than myself through the extraordinary friendships and sense of community that I have been blessed to be part of as a Unitarian Universalist. And I have to say that for me, at the heart of that deep connection, at the heart of this faith tradition and this congregation, for me, is love. A love that is universal and unconditional. A love that is gentle and compassionate. A love that is joyful and fun. A love that welcomes and celebrates all people and that transcends all that divides the human family into us and them, friend and enemy, saved and unsaved. I believe that the love at the heart of Unitarian Universalism does indeed save lives and can transform the world. And in my almost quarter century as a Unitarian Universalist, I have had the privilege of witnessing and experiencing that boundless love over and over again. Those experiences are often what I preach about on Sunday mornings. I have seen that love in the passion and commitment of a fellow church member many years ago when I myself was a lay member. This particular member volunteered every month without fail as part of the congregation's food ministry. And the reason he volunteered was because at one point in his life, he himself had experienced poverty and homelessness and felt that those who had reached out to him had saved his life and that he had an obligation and a responsibility to now help others. Another time, I witnessed that love during a Sunday morning UU service when a gay teenager who had been on the verge of suicide because of the bullying she had experienced in school, when she stood in the pulpit of a UU church and thanked the congregation from the bottom of her heart for providing her for a place where she was welcomed, accepted, and loved for who she is. And in that service, she told that congregation that they had saved her life. And I have watched that boundless and courageous love prevent a father and a child from being cruelly deported by the Trump administration when they were welcomed into sanctuary for over 2 years. Sanctuary that provided them time to appeal their case and eventually to win that case. I have so many more examples like that I could cite. But for me, that's what Unitarian Universalism is all about. That's Unitarian Universalism at its absolute best. And I feel so blessed to have had my life enriched and transformed and healed and made whole by this faith tradition. Now, I've only been here at the UU Congregation of Charlottesville for now, we're almost up to, I think, my 6-month anniversary. But let me tell you something. I have already witnessed and experienced that same love in this congregation. Now, UUCville has certainly had its share of struggles in the past, and you, like all religious communities, have had to navigate a terrible pandemic. But let me tell you something. I have been so inspired by how determined you are to move forward, how hungry you are to make a positive difference, and as Chris said so well, to live Unitarian Universalist principles and values. I believe the UU Congregation of Charlottesville is on the verge of something wonderful, something that will touch lives, deepen spirits, and help begin healing a broken world. You guys are ready. You're on the verge. We just need to do some work together. And then I know that this congregation will become and will be, you already are, but we can do it even bigger. Become an island of love in a sea of turmoil. An island that is so loving, that is so compassionate, that those ripples of love begin to reach out beyond the walls, beyond the doors of this community, out into the community of Charlottesville and out into the wider world. So I hope that you all will become part of that journey. I hope after the service concludes that you will go into the social hall and sign up for one of those cottage conversations. The tables, you can't miss them. There's the big banner. Our beautiful banner is right behind the tables, and there's cake and all kinds of delicious goodies there. So please do. The members of the committee will be there. The task force will be there to answer questions, to help you get signed up, and so on. There's so many different options. There's really no reason not to sign up. We've tried to make it as easy as possible. We need each and every one of you if the UU Congregation of Charlottesville is going to live into the fullness of who we are, of what Unitarian Universalism is calling us to be, and of how we can help bend the arc of the moral universe towards love and justice, not just for ourselves, but for the whole world. That's the work. That's the ministry we are being called to do. So I invite you to begin that journey today, together with all of us. Amen, and blessed be. So let's now rise in body or spirit, and let's join in singing our closing song, number 1018, Come and Go With Me. Each verse we'll sing it twice through, and it's a good upbeat song, and so please rise. Beautiful, beautiful. Please remain standing for the benediction. Friends, as you go forth from this place and into the social hall for cake and signups, let me share these words with you from someone who is very dear to me and someone I'm going to be teaching about in a couple of months, Howard Thurman. Dr. Thurman says, "Don't begin by asking what the world needs or demands from you. Begin by asking what makes you come alive, and then go and do that. Because what this world, this broken and hurting world, needs more than anything else is a people, is a congregation that has come alive." Friends, be well, take very good care of yourselves, of each other, and of the world. Journey together in peace and love. Take time for silence and meditation. Tend to your spirit, tend to your heart. When your heart is full of love, share it with others, share it with us, and share it with the world. Blessed be, and go in peace.
One that says,
Yep. Hello.